So, I think it's been almost a year since the last time I posted a tutorial on lighting, and I've learned some stuff since then, mostly based off of a community guide made by Mesmacat, whose real world name is Kevin Anslow, who also referenced me and other tutorial makers in this little guide, so that's kind of cool. And props to him for mentioning his sources, so I'll pay him the same respect. But yeah, two things I want to cover. Reflection probes to create world space reflections or image space reflections, whatever. And then light linking, which those are two really handy dandy things that will really up your lighting ability in the creation kit. So let's just get right into it. This here is a game world for a project that I've been commissioned to work on. As you can see, I've already done some other stuff over here. So we're going to try and get this hallway to look like that other hallway over here. So let's start with the reflection probe. I guess the easiest way to do it, we'll just go over here. We don't have anything selected, doesn't matter. View, volumes. So here you have your volumes tab. And then you're going to click on this button here, create box. And that brings up a post effect volume box. And you have this special gizmo to resize this box. Now there's other ways you can make a post effect volume space, which is covered and detailed in that Mesmacat guide. Which I will link. It's posted on Steam, and he made it downloadable from a Google Drive docs. But yeah, you can just adjust it. One thing I will note, which you'll see here in a second, once we're finished resizing it, we'll need to close this out. But once you close it out, it appears that this gizmo goes away and you can't ever bring it back, so you can't readjust it. So make sure you got your box pretty much exactly how you want. And you could do just one big giant box, but from what I've noticed, it's best to kind of do it room by room. Otherwise, you could have a light over here that's really strong that gets reflected on a wall over here. Now, if you're going for realism or inspired by realism, obviously that's just not possible. You're not going to have a light over here that's going to reflect on a wall over here when there's all of this space, including other walls and objects that would prevent that from reflecting. So to avoid that, just do a box for each room, essentially. So we got that. You can't see it there, but there is a ceiling there, but I just want to make sure it gets covered so there's no weird clipping. And that looks good. So now, kind of a weird little hacky thing. I don't know why, but you got to close this out. So let's close that. Close that. Go back in there, selecting your volume box you just created. View, and open up that volumes box again with that selected. And let's see if we can go in here. Notice how it looks now. Activate. So now it's activated reflection volume for just this area within the box. And it's dark because there aren't many lights in here right now. I deleted a bunch before this. But then you can adjust it, make all sorts of adjustments. You can bump it up really high. But again, there's not a lot of light sources in this room at the moment. So 5 is actually like super high. So that would be crazy. For the other spaces I've been working on, I've been setting it to about 0.5. That seems to give a noticeable reflection, but not so strong that it's just looks kind of ridiculous. And do 0.5 over here. And right now, I'm just setting it to 0.5 because that's how I have it for all the other areas in this particular cell. But you can just play around with that, and just seeing how everything gets affected. So this also acts as an opportunity to add like other image space adjustments, which officially, I believe Bethesda sources advise not to do it all with one volume box, to have a volume box for reflections, for fog, and blah, 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 blah. But this is, yeah. As far as I know, this is a smaller project, and I've tested plenty of times, and there doesn't really seem to be any sort of negative performance impact. So I like to keep it all in one volume box there. There we go. That's the one I've been using. And again, the image space. So this is going to affect like how harsh the shadows are. Basically like a LUT. And again, I'm just going with what I've been using for the rest of this cell. There we go. Eon curve. And you just close it, oddly. Let's give her a little save there. And that's it for that. Let's go over the other thing I wanted to add. So light leaking. Linking. So to make a light in the creation kit, you can do it from scratch or just pick any light and rename it and hit OK. And say, do you want to create a new form? Yep, sure do. So we got this. Just adjust it real quick. And W to bring up the rotator gizmo, E to bring up the XYZ gizmo mover thingy. So that looks cool. And actually, you don't even have to do all this. This kind of isn't relevant. So I'm going to add all these lights and use some movie magic and skip that part. Okay, so I've added those lights. Again, that's kind of not relevant to all this. But it's just, I guess, just to share my workflow, how I do all this. All right, so now we're going to add one more. And again, you don't have to do it this way. This is just the way I like doing it, that I prefer. So I'm going to add this little dummy light, basically. Now this is relevant. I do want it to be the same light that all of these ones were. And let's rotate it. I'm rotating it upward because I actually moved it out of the visible game space when you're actually in this area. So as you can see, there's a ceiling there, so you wouldn't be seeing it. And I'm just pointing the light source upward so that it's not affecting the scene. So now, what we're about to do, we're going to link all of these lights to this one light so that we can easily adjust all the colors for the lights. Maybe it is level geo. It is level geo. Okay. So I'm going to double click on this. Quick note. So this here actually isn't one object. It's a pack-in. So if the pack-in includes lights, you don't have to go into the pack-in and select the light or anything crazy like that. The light linking, thankfully, just detects that there's lights in the pack-in, and it's going to affect that. So we're going to double click it. Find the linked reference tab. Right click, new, select reference in render window. Find that reference. Double click, hit OK, and OK. You don't see a change yet. That's fine. Don't worry about it. So we're just going to do the same thing going down the line here. And you can move your light down this way. It's not going to break or affect anything, thankfully. And you know it's successfully linking when you can see those yellow lines indicating that there is a linkage. Now, sometimes the line doesn't show up right away. If that happens, just click on something else and it should pop up. Okay, so we got all of our light sources selected. Our practical lights, as you would call it. So now we're going to go to that light again. Waiting area light 2. And like I said earlier, if you don't see the color change, don't worry about that. We can just, let's just hit apply. And boom, those change. So after doing that, even though it's super tedious work, you can see how handy that is. We just changed the color for all of those lights with essentially one click. And for the purpose of, you know, creating and playing around with the look of what you want, I can easily change all those lights again with just a few clicks. Let's go down here to our reference light. Let's have that selected. So now another reason to have all of those lights linked. So I have the reference light selected. Holding Control Alt S. Click, left click and hold and drag. And you can actually control the emittance of those practical lights. So I'm just moving my mouse up and down, left or right, whatever direction. So again, that's a very cool, useful thing, which again, otherwise you would have to manually adjust. You'd essentially have to make a material for these lights and then add it to each of those lights. And then to adjust the admittance, you would have to go in and out of that material, change the settings to see how it looks. But this, you can just do it in real time without the hassle of going into each one of those lights individually. So, yeah, that's it for real this time. Thank you.